All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a kind of invisible engine that, believe it or not, built human society and is now, very quietly, making a comeback. It's a system that operates just under the surface of our everyday lives. It's called the gift economy, and I think it's going to change the way you see everything, from your own family to the entire internet. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Look at these two scenarios. They couldn't be more different, right? On one side, you've got your standard market transaction. You go to CVS, buy something, you pay, and that's it. It's totally efficient, but it's also completely impersonal. But on the other side, you have something like a community barn raising. This isn't about money at all. It's about mutual support. This exchange doesn't end. In fact, it creates what one source calls the warp and woof of community connection. It's the beginning of a relationship, not the end of a transaction. You know, you might think of giving gifts as something we just do on birthdays or holidays. But here's the wild part. For most of human history, the gift economy wasn't some little sideshow, it was the main event. It was literally how societies functioned, long, long before money as we know it ever existed. There's this incredible story from the poet Pablo Neruda that just gets right to the heart of this. When he was a lonely little kid, he was playing in his backyard near a fence, and through a small hole in that fence, the hand of a boy he'd never seen appeared and left him a small, perfect toy sheep. Neruda had never met this kid, but he felt this immediate pull to respond. So he ran inside, grabbed his own most prized possession, a single, beautiful pine cone, and pushed it back through the hole as a gift in return. He never saw that boy again. But that one simple, mysterious exchange left this profound mark on him. See, it wasn't a trade, it wasn't calculated. It was a moment that, as he put it, widens out the boundaries of our being and unites all living things. And that is the magic of a true gift. It creates a connection that a market purchase just can't. So what's really fascinating here is that these two systems, the market and the gift, they run on completely different operating systems. They have fundamentally opposite ideas about what value even means, what it means to own something, and what the whole point of an exchange is in the first place. Okay, so first up, the system we all know inside and out, the market economy. When you buy something, that object becomes your private property. The goal a lot of the time is accumulation, to get more stuff. And the transaction, well, it's the end of the story. Bam, done.
But in a gift economy, it's the complete opposite. The exchange is just the beginning of the story. The object isn't just the thing. It's seen as carrying a kind of social energy with it. And the goal isn't to accumulate things for yourself, but to strengthen the bonds that hold the community together. And this really highlights that fundamental misunderstanding. As the writer Lewis Hyde explains, the pejorative term Indian giver came from settlers who were totally baffled when Native Americans would give them a gift, say a peace pipe, and then expect it to be passed on to someone else, not just hung on a wall and collected. In a true gift culture, you're not the final owner of the gift. You're more like its custodian. Its value comes from being kept in motion.
Now, if this is all starting to sound a bit, academic, just think about your own family for a second. Your parents don't hand you an itemized bill at the end of the week for food, housing, and emotional support, right? Of course not. It's all a gift. That's because within a family, we naturally operate on a basis of mutual connection, not profit and loss. It's the one place this ancient system is still just second nature to all of us. So how does this actually work? I mean, a gift economy isn't just a total free-for-all of random kindness. Nope. It has a really powerful, unwritten social grammar. And the French sociologist Mauss was one of the first to figure out the 3 core obligations that make the whole system tick. Mauss had this idea that in many cultures, a gift is believed to carry a part of the giver's spirit, a kind of spiritual energy he called the ha. This spirit of the gift doesn't want to be hoarded. It wants to keep moving, to eventually find its way back to its origin by being passed from person to person. And it's that belief that creates this deep social compulsion to give back. And this boils down to 3 simple but really powerful rules. First, there's a social pressure, an obligation to give, to be generous. Second, and this one is just as important, is the obligation to receive. Refusing a gift can be a huge insult because you're basically rejecting a social connection. And third, there's the obligation to repay the gift, to reciprocate and keep that circle of giving flowing. And this right here, this is the key difference that makes it so different from just trading or bartering. You don't necessarily have to give a gift right back to the exact person who gave one to you. Your debt is to the community. Your obligation is to pay it forward, making sure that gift continues its journey, strengthening the entire social web, not just your one-to-one relationship. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds fascinating, but it's ancient history, right? Well, not exactly. The gift economy is actually alive and well in the 21st century, and it's popping up in some of the most surprising places. I mean, just think about it for a second. Open source software, the very code that runs a huge chunk of the internet, is built by programmers who are gifting their time and skill. Wikipedia is created by millions of volunteers giving their knowledge. Creative Commons lets artists gift their work to the public. Even huge cultural events like Burning Man are founded on a strict principle of non-commercial gifting. These are massive, modern gift economies happening right under our noses. And really, the internet has just supercharged this whole thing. It lets us create what Lewis Hyde calls a cultural commons, a huge shared pool of knowledge, art, and tools that we can all use and contribute to without a single price tag attached. It's basically the digital version of the old shared village pasture or forest. And this brings us to the most radical and maybe the most important idea of all. Because if you really follow the logic of the gift economy to its natural conclusion, it forces you to ask a very, very fundamental question. What does it actually mean to be wealthy? This quote from the author Charles Eisenstein just flips our entire modern idea of wealth completely on its head. It is a perfect inversion of market logic. It's not about what you have, it's about what you've put into circulation for others. So let's just lay it out, side by side. The market view tells us that wealth is accumulation. He who jives with the most toys wins. But the gift view offers a totally different vision. Wealth is measured by your flow, not your stash. The richest person isn't the one hoarding the most stuff in a vault somewhere, but the one who's become a channel, contributing the most to the community and keeping those gifts in motion. And so that leaves us with a question to think about. In our society, we're constantly being told to acquire, to own, to accumulate more and more. But maybe, just maybe, the oldest form of human exchange has something really profound to teach us about where real value is found. So I'll just leave you with this. In a world focused on accumulation, what does it mean to you to be truly rich?